Learning how to talk on camera got me 10,000 subscribers in 3 months on a brand new YouTube channel. And this is the one thing that holds 99% of beginners back from blowing up. Because at the end of the day, no matter how good your script, idea, title, and thumbnail are, if you aren't engaging to watch, a viewer will click off of your video. But I'm here to tell you right now that no matter where you are in your YouTube career, you can master the art of filming viral YouTube videos. There are just 3 simple steps that you have to follow. And once you understand them, you'll be able to unlock the ability to be engaging on camera, to keep viewers entertained, and ultimately get more views. And once I understood these things, I went from feeling awkward and dull on camera to feeling confident and comfortable. And now when I post a video, I know that I'm not the problem. The first thing you need to do is make sure you have a good setup, and you need to make sure that your camera is framed properly, because this is one of the biggest problems that makes viewers click off. Because if your videos look like this, then no one is going to stick around. But once you understand a few simple points, you can build a setup that looks like this. Whether you're in a basement, a penthouse, or a full-blown YouTube studio. This not only raises your status in the viewer's eyes, but makes your videos much easier to watch, and floods the viewer's brain with dopamine, keeping them glued on the screen, which allows your watch time to go up and your videos to start looking like this. Your main camera angle is the most important, and that is your A-cam. And there are 3 ways to make sure that it is perfectly set up. First is that you want the camera to see your torso to the top of your head, because if you're too close or too far, it just looks weird. But make sure that your head is actually close to the top of the screen, because most beginners film their videos like this. The way that I like to measure this is making sure I have about 1 hand between me and the top of the screen. The next rule is to make sure your aperture, or f-stop, is as low as possible. And if you don't know what f-stop is, it's just how wide your lens opens. Now it will depend on your lens how low this number actually can go, but the lower it is, the more background blur you'll have, which looks super good to the viewer and directs more attention to you than on the background. You can change this in your camera settings. Then you have to make sure that you are actually far away from the background. I'll put at least 4 to 6 feet between you and the backdrop, because the more space you have, the blurrier and better it will look. And same thing with your camera. Your camera should be about 4 to 6 feet away from you. But these camera settings don't matter if you don't have the right lighting. And there's something I've been doing recently that's made my videos go from this to this. And once you understand how to light a scene, it doesn't matter what kind of camera you have. Your videos will look Netflix level. I'm about to show you guys my entire YouTube setup. All right, so this is my YouTube setup. As you can see, I have my camera stand right here. This is where the camera will normally be, but we don't have that right now because I'm holding it. And then as you can see, we're filming a whiteboard section right now. So there's a whiteboard over there. Normally I'll just put the camera on here, zoom in a little bit, and have this frame, as you guys will probably recognize from my videos. And one thing that's interesting here that you'll see is that there is about 6 to 8 feet between the camera and myself, which is a lot of space. And if you can see as well, between the chair and the backdrop, there is another maybe 5 feet. There's a lot of space. That is exactly how I have it set up, and the reason for that is because it looks better when it's a little bit blurry, and the farther away the camera is and the backdrop is to you, then it's going to be more blurry, which looks just better. So basically when I'm sitting down, I have my camera here, and then I have my second angle just on my desk, chilling over here. I have my main light at around a 45, probably a 30-degree angle actually. And as you can see, I also have padding on the walls. This is to reduce my echo. So I have padding here, here, and here, especially because in my place, I have a pretty large area that echoes a lot. So I had to really put some padding on there. If you just have like some curtains, that can do the job as well. And right here behind me, behind my desk, what you'll see, I have this little light. This is all I use to get that really beautiful cinematic blue look. Literally just 2 lights, 1 little small light right there and 1 big light right here. Also have the whiteboard in case I need to bring that out. Just drag it out here to the middle and it's good to go. So just sit down at this desk, record. That's basically the entire setup. Very, very simple. And then on the backdrop, I just have some stuff that I like. I got Pokemon cards, boxing gloves, some books, and just some vases, which is just stuff I enjoy. So yep, that's pretty much the entire setup. But if you want to take your videos to the highest level possible, you also need to add a little known secret that Iman Gaji, Alex Hormozi, and MrBeast all use in their videos. And doing this will increase your average viewer duration by a lot, which will finally allow you to break out of small channel prison and get ranked on the YouTube homepage. It all comes down to having a B camera angle. The goal of this is to hide cuts when you mess up and emphasize your facial expressions when you're making a point. Now the B camera angle should be closer than your main camera angle and should really be able to see the fine details in your face. Viewers will feel more up close and personal when you start having more vulnerable moments, which we'll talk about in a second. To set this up, set up a separate camera angle on the shadow side of your face. So as you can see, I have the light over here, but the shadow is on this side, and that's why I put the camera facing this way because it looks more cinematic. Now, once you have the correct setup, we need to focus on the important part, how you actually speak. And there is a little known strategy that the best speakers in the world use to keep the audience engaged. But it is so important that if you ignore it, it'll be almost impossible to blow up on YouTube. And if you're currently waking up with no new subscribers, this might be the thing that changes everything. You need to learn how to emphasize power words. Listen to these two sentences. The best way to get 1,000 subscribers is so easy. The best way to get 1,000 subscribers is so easy. If you're like 99.9% of the population, you likely found the second version much more engaging. But the problem is that most people speak on camera like this.
Hello guys, my name is Lennon Chastain, and today I will be explaining the Airbnb initial public offering.
This was me 4 years ago, and hopefully you can see the difference. To learn this, you first must identify the power words in each sentence, and then put a lot more energy into them. For example, I can put a lot more energy into the word lot, which I do because I want to stress the point that you need a lot of energy. You do this by stretching out the vowel sound. So if I say lot, I stretch out that O and I do lot instead of just lot. It's just a longer O with a bit more volume. You can also emphasize words by just pausing after the word. So I could say, and this will give you a lot more value, right? So that still emphasizes the word, but I just paused after it, right? But you put a lot of emphasis on lot. So this can give you a lot of value, right? So I still am putting emphasis, but I don't even need to amplify the volume. You can also emphasize a word by simply just speaking slower when you emphasize it. So this can give you a lot of value, right? So I paused a little bit after as well, but I spoke the word slower. So this can give you a lot of value. And another way to emphasize, you could also just pronounce one syllable louder than the others. And on this one, I'm gonna emphasize the word value because it has 2 syllables. So this can give you a lot of value. So I emphasize value, value, right? So up, down. But this emphasis is not just in the volume of your voice, it's also in your facial expressions. And not emphasizing these power words is one of the biggest things holding most people back. And this is not only in the volume of your voice, it also has to do with your facial expressions. When I'm emphasizing a word, I'm even scrunching my face to match the tone. So for example, if I was gonna say, this could give you so much value, I could say, this could give you so much value, and then I scrunch my face up because it's so serious. And you also don't have to be loud. So many creators are just screaming at the top of their lungs when being quiet can be just as powerful. For example, when I say the line, if you don't do this, your channel might never grow. I actually take a long pause on the word never, and then I say it very softly. This is what we like to call a negative emphasis. The key here is that you have to say some words different than others in volume, tone, energy, and feeling. But this only works if you choose the right words. Because if not, then your videos might sound like this. I want to get 1,000 subscribers in the next 30 days. It just sounds weird. So you need to emphasize only the words that give power. These are words like so, million, just, only, and, or, never, and many more. Identifying these in the beginning can be challenging, but if you just read through your script and try to emphasize 1 or 2 words per sentence, you will likely get most of them right, and if anything sounds weird, you can just repeat it. But to really master this, you need to understand how to incorporate your body into it, because if not, then your videos will look like this. And once you understand how to do it, it will make you so engaging that your viewers literally can't look away, which will tell the YouTube algorithm to push your video out to a broader audience, and you will get more views. This will allow you to scale your channel to 1,000, 10,000, and 100,000 subscribers. Here's how it works. So the first thing that you need to do is just make sure you are moving your hands. So there are tons of different hand movements. For example, I have the numbers, I do this, 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 this. If you say 6, I'll do 6. If you do 5, I'll do 5. And another thing that you'll notice I'm doing is I'm just naturally moving my hands like this as I talk. I talk about one thing, move my hand this way. I talk about another thing, move my hand this way. If I'm talking about steps, I could be like step 1, step 2, step 3. And I move my hands accordingly, right? So any numerical thing should almost always have a hand movement. And other types of hand movements, if you're opening a line, a very good way to open a line or to say a new paragraph or something like that is to go like that. That is a very natural movement and it works very well. One thing that you'll also notice I do a lot, and I'm doing it literally right now, is putting my palm towards the camera. When you do this, it shows vulnerability. It shows that you are comfortable. People who try to protect themselves always have their hands like this. You'll notice this in real life if you pay attention to. If you're hanging out with good friends, they'll have their palms forward for you. And this is a sign of trust. And it's the same thing on camera. You should trust the camera. You should trust your audience. And having your hands outwards will not only make you feel comfortable, but it will make the audience feel comfortable as well. Another one that I like to do is the lean in like this when I'm trying to emphasize a point. That's a very good one if you're trying to make a serious point. Now, one thing you want to be really careful of is not doing too many hand movements. Like when I first started, I was doing so many different hand movements all of the time, and people could just feel it. It was just a weird energy. You want to keep it slow. Like for example, in this line, I'm only going to emphasize something every maybe 3 to 4 seconds. And you also want to combine these hand movements with emphasis. So if I am emphasizing a word, I will move my hands, I will move my head, and I will make sure that that emphasis has a correlation to my body language. But this is just the beginning. And if you scroll on Instagram, you will realize that almost all of the viral videos have one thing in common. The most viral clips all have emotion. Throughout history, this has been the one thing that turns strangers into loyal fans, because it is the only thing that can break through the noise nowadays, because it's real. And this deep connection that you build with real emotion to your audience will be the difference between you blowing up or just being another small channel trying to crack 1,000 views a video. You need to access these emotions. You need to be able to be happy. You need to be on camera and feel really, really good in yourself. You also really need to be able to tap into sadness. And you also really need to be able to tap into your fear as well. And you can also get disgusted on camera. You can get angry or be completely surprised and have a ton of empathy towards your audience. So how do you access these emotions? Frankly, it's honestly just a bunch of practice. For example, one of my clients that we grew from 5,000 subscribers to 250,000, one of the things that I coached him heavily on was just accessing different emotions. So what I would literally do when we would film, I would tell him, hey, today I want you to be happy. Today I want you to be angry. And then he would put on a smile or start breathing heavily to really access that part of himself, because when you want to get worked up, you have to work yourself up physically. You have to be like, and get worked up and get angry, right? You have to access that emotion. Think of something that makes you angry. You have to think of something that makes you happy. You have to think about something that makes you sad. And when you think about those things, take a deep breath and really access that emotion, like access that memory, and then translate that across to the camera. One way to get really good at this very fast is to take improv classes. I took improv classes for like a year. Honestly, one of the best things I have done, because it allowed me to learn how to speak very well and tap into these complex emotions on command. And as your YouTube script goes through these high and low emotions, you need to access those effectively. When you talk about your viewers' pain points, use empathy. And if you talk about your viewers' dream outcome, then use excitement. This will cut directly through the screen and into your viewers' hearts to make sure that they understand your message and will come back again and again. Because now you are not just some guy on the internet. You are their friend. Now, all of this takes time and it can feel really overwhelming at the start of your YouTube career. But there is a way to speed up your progress on this by 1 to 2 years in only about 5 minutes per day. For the next 30 days, what you are going to do is record a 5-minute video of yourself talking over a ChatGPT generated script. Then you are going to watch that 5-minute video of yourself and take notes on what you can do better with tonality, hand movements, and emotion. Then you are going to implement those changes on the next day. If you do this, I can guarantee you that after 1 month, you will be a way better speaker than you are now. And your viewers will start to notice too. Your watch time will go up, leading to more views, more likes, and more comments, which will tell the YouTube algorithm that it is finally time to start pushing your channel. But mastering filming is just one part of growing on YouTube, and that's exactly why I put together a completely free YouTube University with over 12 hours of content showing you everything that you need to know to blow up on YouTube in 2024 and get your first 100,000 subscribers. So check out this video where I show you what you'll learn, how to get access, and how you can use the information inside to become a full-time YouTuber in the next 6 to 12 months. Thanks, and have a good one.